Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into an object that's become, well, truly iconic. A piece of engineering that's probably seen more action and more risks than you might imagine. The Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical Watch.
Hmm.
Our mission for this deep dive is to trace its remarkable history, dissect its design, and uncover why it's achieved such a passionate, almost cult-like following.
Right.
We've pulled from a really detailed review to extract the most valuable insights just for you.
And what's truly captivating here, I think, is how this seemingly straightforward timepiece manages to bridge eras, from the gritty battlefield to modern everyday wear.
Yeah.
It retains both its rugged utility and its enduring appeal. It really is a perfect blend of military heritage and, well, a surprising contemporary desirability.
That deep history is absolutely the backbone of its appeal. To truly appreciate this watch, we really have to start at its deep roots,
Right.
from the battlefield to the wrist.
Exactly.
Hamilton's role in World War II was just monumental. They produced over 1 million watches for the U.S. military.
Over 1 million. It's hard to even picture.
It really is a staggering number. And the field watch, specifically, garnered immense praise for its, quote, universally consistent quality.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, how did they manage that kind of consistent quality at such a massive scale during wartime? That seems almost impossible.
That's a fantastic point, and it really speaks to their engineering prowess even back then. It wasn't just about, churning them out.
Right.
It was about a rigorous standardization process, something often overlooked today. Each watch had to meet really strict military specifications, ensuring reliability in the field, and that became their enduring legacy.
Yeah.
The predecessor to today's khaki field was typically a 34 millimeter wide field watch, often in a chrome-plated metal case, radium lume dials, powered by a manual wind caliber 987 movement. It's quite the lineage.
And if we look at the bigger picture here, Hamilton's journey from being this key wartime supplier to a brand loved by civilians today is really compelling. The modern Hamilton Watch Company was acquired by the Swatch Group in 1974, though, interestingly, much of the production had already moved to Switzerland back in 1969.
Right, that Swiss move predates the Swatch acquisition.
Exactly. And this acquisition really allowed Hamilton to sort of reassert itself as a bona fide, authentic maker of military tool watches, leaning on that deep historical provenance.
With the backing of Swatch Group resources?
Right. And what's surprising, or at least it surprised me, is that even while they were still producing watches for actual military units, into the 80s and 90s, Hamilton did incredibly well by marketing to civilians again, in the wake of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that civilian market pivot was smart.
It was. And I was genuinely surprised to learn those early post-war civilian Hamilton khaki watches were actually co-branded with retailers like Brickstone, Orvis, and L.L. Bean.
Brickstone, that's one I wouldn't have guessed.
Right. It's a detail I certainly didn't expect. It shows just how early Hamilton recognized the power of, lifestyle branding way before influencers were even a concept.
True. And this was also when the khaki logo first started popping up on their dials, tying it all together.
Okay, so fast forward to the modern incarnation. You have to wonder, why did the 2018 release strike such gold?
That was the pivotal one.
Hamilton released the contemporary khaki field mechanical that year, and it's just gone on to be one of the most popular, most beloved contemporary field watches out there.
Yeah, it really hit a nerve.
The recipe for its success seems pretty clear. A military-inspired design coupled with the adroit decision, as the review put it, to use a manual wind movement. But why was that manual wind choice so adroit for a modern release? What made that click?
That's a fantastic question. It wasn't just about cost effectiveness, although that likely played a part.
Sure.
It was, I think, a brilliant move because it tapped directly into that tactile experience, that sort of historical authenticity that watch enthusiasts really crave.
That connection.
Exactly. Soldiers manually wound these watches. It was part of the daily ritual. By bringing that back, Hamilton forged a deeper connection to its heritage. And crucially, they offered an 80-hour power reserve at a price point that genuinely disrupted the market.
Right. That power reserve is huge.
It made it an almost irresistible proposition for many people.
And you have to understand its market position too, right? There have been tons of competitive releases since 2018, micro brands, other established watchmakers.
Oh, absolutely. The field watch space is crowded.
But it's genuinely not easy to overtake Hamilton's distinct advantage here.
Which is?
Well, it's that authentic history, backed up, as you said, with significant resources of its Swatch Group ownership. That combination, it's formidable.
Yeah, that's a tough combo to beat. History plus resources.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of the design. The case itself played a huge role in its broad appeal. It measures 38 millimeters wide, just 9.5 millimeters thick.
Pretty
Very slim.
Yeah.
And a relatively long 47 millimeter lug-to-lug measurement. So the Khaki Field Mechanical, it's technically a smaller watch, but it truly has a wrist presence closer to something like a 39.5 millimeter case.
Those long lugs are key. They're as much a part of the design signature as the dial itself, really.
Totally agree. And they aren't intrusive somehow. Plus, the 20 millimeter lug width with drilled lugs makes swapping out the bracelet or strap super easy.
A very welcome feature for strap addicts.
Definitely. Now, speaking of that ruggedness, the finishing on the case is quite Spartan. How does that seemingly utilitarian design choice actually enhance its authenticity and appeal for you, the modern wearer?
Precisely. That utilitarian choice, interestingly, is exactly what enhances its authenticity for so many people. That matte, blasted surface.
Yeah.
It isn't just about looks.
Right.
It's a direct nod to its tool watch heritage, where practicality just trumped polish. You won't find any shiny polished surfaces or fancy beveling,
Yep.
which is entirely appropriate for a no-nonsense field watch. It's a watch that basically says, I'm here to get the job done, not win a beauty contest.
Which, ironically, is exactly what makes it so appealing to a lot of us.
Exactly. The enclosed case back is simple, just an embossed Hamilton logo. The crown at 3 o'clock is also nicely sized, nice and big, easy to grip. The first position is used to wind the manual movement, and the second position lets you set the time, and crucially, the hacking seconds function is activated.
Okay, hacking seconds, important for that military feel.
Essential. Water resistance is, well, it's a passable 50 meters, so it's really recommended more for land activities. Don't go deep sea diving with it.
Right, understood. Now, when it comes to strap options, the textile strap often feels like the default, the classic look. But there's also a leather strap and a bracelet available.
Yeah, and the matte blasted bracelet, which matches the case perfectly, is actually quite nice. It has this sort of staggered design. Technically, it's complex, like a 4-link construction, but it wears like a very comfortable 3-link, just smoothly draping around your wrist. The stamped triple folding clasp feels secure, and where it truly excels, I think, is with its micro-adjust feature. Plus, it has an extension that allows for an extra 20 millimeter if needed.
Oh, that's handy. Okay, moving to the face of the watch, the dial is where its legacy really shines, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, it's iconic.
Beneath a gently domed sapphire crystal, nice touch. The sapphire, you find the classic field watch style design. A style Hamilton itself really pioneered.
They set the standard.
It's incredibly legible and crisp. The lumed hour and minute hands are kind of a hybrid, like sword and syringe styles combined.
Yeah, that's a good description.
While the seconds hand has that lollipop counterweight and a lumed triangular tip, so you can track it easily.
Right.
The matte dial surface is framed by a minute track, which has those classic triangular 5-minute markers. And they're done in fauxtina.
Ah, yes, the fauxtina. Always a bit divisive, but I think it works here.
I agree. It's that clever artificial aging effect. It gives them that warm, vintage, yellowish glow right out of the box, like it's already seen some action.
Makes it feel lived in.
Yeah. Moving inward, there are large hour numerals, and then that inner 24-hour ring for military time.
Yeah.
Just like its predecessors that were so reliably used by soldiers in World War II, this contemporary Hamilton field watch is simple, clear, and incredibly easy to read at a glance.
Spot on. Now let's talk about what's ticking inside, the heart of the watch. The H50 movement.
Right, the engine. So the manual wind H50 is Hamilton's take on the ETA C07.701, which some might know as the ETA 2801.
Another big benefit of being under that Swatch Group umbrella, access to great base movements.
Definitely. And it's not just a copy and paste job, right? It's apparently a heavily reworked movement. They made specific changes to the gear train and the mainspring.
That's correct. It's a significant modification.
They even took the operating speed down from 4 hertz, which is pretty standard, to 3 hertz.
Yeah.
What are the practical implications of making that kind of strategic change? Why do that?
Well, the true genius here, I think, is the trade-off they made. A lower frequency. Okay, yes, it is technically less accurate on paper, but the tested accuracy of ±7 seconds per day, that should be more than sufficient for most of you out there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Especially when the massive benefit is that highly impressive 80-hour power reserve.
80 hours. That's huge.
80 hours. That's almost a full weekend off your wrist without needing a rewind.
Wow.
For anyone who's ever had to reset their watch every Monday morning, that's like a small slice of horological heaven right there.
No kidding. And hacking seconds, as we mentioned, That feels like an obvious given for a watch leaning so heavily into this kind of history.
Absolutely essential considering soldiers frequently had to precisely synchronize their time down to the second.
Makes sense.
So yeah, the H50 is a seriously impressive manual wind movement that offers a ton of value for the price. It's really no surprise that it's reached such a strong enthusiast base, almost that cult following, in the year since its release.
And if you're thinking about picking one up, maybe after hearing all this, there are plenty of ways to personalize your deep dive into the Khaki Field Mechanical.
Lots of flavors.
Yeah, you've got several versions. Cases in brushed stainless steel, the classic.
Yeah.
But also black or earth, PVD.
That's physical vapor deposition, a tough coating.
Right, gives it that durable, matte colored finish. And even bronze, which will patina uniquely over time.
Yeah, the bronze adds another layer of personalization as it ages.
Then you have dial color options. White, black, green, brown, blue. All of them are attractive and, crucially, legible. So it's really just a matter of taste, isn't it? Which combination you might choose.
Pretty much. And that's before you even get into all the strap or bracelet options.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to pricing and value, prices start around $625 for the classic steel-on textile strap option.
Okay.
And about $695 for the bracelet version. They rise to maybe $675 for the PVD on a strap, and then jump up to $945 or so for the bronze case.
Okay, so there's been a bit of a price jump over the years.
Yeah, prices have indeed jumped about $100 for the base model since it was first introduced, but honestly, they still offer a lot of value for the money.
Still feels like a good deal.
It really does. And, worth noting, for those of you who might find the 38mm case just a little too small, there is a 42mm option.
Oh, okay.
It retains the basic look and feel, just in bigger case size. That said, it isn't quite as true to the original Hamilton Field watch dimensions it's based on.
Right, the heritage purists might stick with the 38.
Probably. But that might not be the biggest factor for everyone. The 42 offers that same vibe for larger wrists.
Good point. And, the field watch market is quite competitive. There are other solid options out there at varying prices. Things like the Bulova Hack. Seiko's got options like the SPB 243, Timex Expedition, CWC Meller 72, Vertex M100.
A lot of great watches in that space, for sure.
Yeah.
But considering the broader context, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical truly represents, I think, the quintessential field watch. It has that legitimate history dating all the way back to World War II.
Can't fake that.
You really can't. It's no-date dial, the fairly ideal case sizing for many, that manual wind movement with the very long power reserve. It just makes for one of the best deals in mechanical watches, period, let alone just field watches.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. We've unpacked a truly iconic watch, tracing its journey from wartime necessity right up to its beloved modern appeal.
It really makes you think, though. This raises an important question, maybe for you to ponder. What does it tell us about our connection to history, or maybe our deep appreciation for just straightforward, no-nonsense functionality, that a watch designed for battlefields decades ago remains so incredibly beloved today, even when, let's face it, we all have supercomputers in our pockets that tell perfect time? Why this watch